Chiefs football is back as the Kansas City Chiefs go down to New Orleans to take on the Saints on Sunday. Saints early favorites there. It's preseason. Who cares about who the favorite is? It's not about winning and losing. It's about what to watch for. And on today's show, we're going to take a look at 5 things that you guys should keep an eye on during this matchup. And we can also keep an eye on it together because we're going to be live for a watch party. Chiefs, Saints, live watch party. This Sunday, 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Central Time. So subscribe, turn on your notifications, and join us as we get after it here on Sunday for the first Chiefs watch party of the year. Coming up in a moment, those things to watch out for in this matchup. Preseason week 1 is here as the Chiefs take the field for the first time against the Saints. My name is Harrison Graham. I want to take a look at some players, some things to watch out for as the Chiefs take on the Saints this Sunday. And you should get a round of applause. We made it, folks. Chiefs football is back. NFL is back. I found myself watching the godforsaken Hall of Fame game the other night because I'm starving for football. And now we get to watch the Chiefs here in a few days. And obviously this is a veteran team. We're even more ready for the regular season. But believe me, there's plenty of storylines and things to watch out for during the preseason. And I think the thing I want to watch out most, not only in this game but throughout the preseason, is can Shane Buechele play turnover-free? Can the Chiefs' third-year quarterback who earned his way on the practice squad a couple of years ago, got elevated to the 53-man roster, made the roster last year. Can Shane Buechele be someone who plays turnover-free? Because that's been a problem of his the past couple of years in the preseason. He has been someone who can sling the rock and is willing to take chances, and he's thrown some touchdowns, but he's thrown some picks as well. You look at his career in the preseason. He's played in 6 games, 64%, 755 yards, 6 touchdowns to 3 picks. He's had a couple of fumbles as well. He's taken 9 sacks. I won't put a ton of that on him. He's playing with, third-string linemen most of the time as well. But that's been the biggest gripe, I think, from the Chiefs' standpoint on Buechele, trying to evaluate him if he can be a true number 2 quarterback, is he turns the ball over too much for a backup. Like, you'd rather have someone who can just run the offense and take care of the ball. That's something Chad Henne did very, very well. He obviously retired. The Chiefs signed Blaine Gabbert, I think, to send a message to Buechele, like, hey, you got to prove to us that you can earn that backup job. I think it's a huge preseason for Shane Buechele. If he does not take a step forward, there might even be a scenario where they move on from him. But on the other end of the spectrum, they could elevate him to the backup, and maybe they either demote Gabbert to QB3 or flat out cut him altogether. I think Buechele, all possibilities are on the table for him. I like him quite a bit. He's got a strong arm, but he's got to limit the mistakes this preseason. I think he's going to get to play a lot, so I'm excited to see what he can do. Who do you guys think is QB2? I think right now it's Gabbert. I think Buechele's got to take that job. Type BG for Blaine Gabbert, SB for Shane Buechele. I don't know for sure, but I think the Chiefs will give Buechele a chance to win that job. We'll have to wait and see how the preseason plays out. Which starters play and for how long? That's something I want to monitor as well. Andy Reid, historically, has been a guy who plays his starters. He has. I mean, Patrick Mahomes played in all 3 preseason games last year for the Chiefs. And it added up to almost a full game worth. I mean, he went 18 of 26, 222 yards and 3 touchdowns in the preseason last year. And every year we're always surprised, Mahomes is playing in the preseason opener. Now, as of filming this, Andy Reid hasn't confirmed that, but depending on when you're watching this, he either has or has not. So, again, we're wondering, and I'm curious to see how long some of these starters do play. But Andy Reid believes in that. That's a philosophical thing of his. He likes to play his main guys at least a little bit in the preseason to have them ready to go for week 1. I understand both sides of the coin there. You don't want to risk injury, but at the same time, do you want to come out week 1 and be flat? We've seen teams in the past not play starters at all in the preseason, and then they're just not ready to go. So he believes in that. Now, some likely absences in this preseason opener. Kadarius Toney for sure won't play. His week 1 status is still up in the air. Jody Fortson with the shoulder, I don't think he'll be ready to go. L'Jarius Sneed dealing with the knee issue. He's getting closer to being back, but I doubt he plays in this one. And Chris Jones with the holdout. Even if his holdout ends, I would be shocked if he played in this game because he hasn't been at training camp. They're not going to put him out there with a practice or two, even if the holdout does end. So these are some likely absences for the Chiefs, but I think most starters that are healthy will probably play at least a drive on both sides of the field, so we'll see how that plays out. BetUS, yes, you can bet on preseason football, and you might as well, right? That makes preseason games a lot more fun. Like, sometimes you're watching a preseason game, you're like, this game sucks. Not if you bet on it, it doesn't. Chatsports.com/ChiefsBet to create an account today. Use the promo code Chiefs125 to get a 125% deposit bonus. Put down $100, they'll give you an extra $125 for free. Here are our betting odds for this upcoming game. Saints currently 3-point favorites. The over/under 37.5 points. So we'll see how it shakes out. Obviously, it depends on how long each team plays their starters. But fascinated to see what happens on this one. Make it fun. Go bet on this matchup. Rookies. Did I say rookies? I think that's the most fun part about preseason. How do the new faces play, especially those rookies? The Chiefs obviously drafted 7 players last year, have 14 undrafted free agents as well. So what does Felix Anudike-Uzomah do? The first-round pick, Rashee Rice, who has had a pretty good camp. Does he ball out in the preseason? Wanya Morris, can he earn that swing tackle job? Shamari Connor in the secondary and on special teams. B.J. Thompson, who's a project. I don't expect him to play a lot this season, but in the preseason, he's definitely someone to watch. Keandre Coburn at that nose tackle spot at a position of need. Definitely keeping an eye on him. Nick Jones, especially with the injury to Najee Johnson, he's someone to watch. And I mentioned those 14 UDFAs, and to me, all eyes on Deneric Prince. I think if I had to power rank players I'm most excited to watch in the preseason, he'd be in my top 5 because he's going to get the first crack at kickoff return duties in this preseason opener. I want to see him catch the football out of the backfield like he's been doing in training camp and ultimately see if he can unseat Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Which rookie are you watching closest? If you had to pick one rook, which one stands out to you as someone you definitely want to watch? Deneric Prince, Rashee Rice, a couple of guys I'm watching very, very close. How does that defensive tackle position look? I just mentioned Keandre Coburn, but with Chris Jones out, and quite frankly, I doubt he'll play at all in the preseason, even if the holdout does end. Maybe he'll play the last game or something like that if he gets in soon. But you're thin at that spot. Derek Notty's a vet. We'll see how much they play him. But Keandre Coburn, opportunity. Tershawn Wharton coming back from that ACL. We'll see if he plays in this game, but whenever he does, opportunity. Danny Shelton to get back onto a 53-man roster. He's got a chance as well. This is a thin position group right now, and without Chris Jones, it's weak on paper. Let's just be honest. But can one or two of these guys flip the narrative on that? Can they prove us wrong and say, hey, we actually do have more bullets in the chamber at this position? Because right now, I don't see it. I don't see the Chiefs defensive tackle group turning heads whatsoever. So Trench's play is going to be something to monitor during this opener, especially for the Chiefs defensive line. And then players on the roster bubble. Which players on the bubble show out? Which players do not? Which players maybe create some trade value if the Chiefs want to do that? I'm talking to you, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. These are 5 players, I think, to really keep in mind throughout the preseason, which starts in this game against the Saints. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. What happens here? I still think the best outcome for everyone is he gets traded elsewhere. Well, play well in the preseason to increase your chances of getting traded is what I would say. Justin Watson, I know the Chiefs like him, special teams value, but with the way Justin Ross is playing, which is why I mentioned him as well, those two guys, man, which Justin is going to outperform the other? That's definitely a very real thing. Matt Bushman, a player I'm high on. I think he's got a chance to make this team as a 4th tight end. He had a great preseason finale last year before he got injured. Can he earn a roster spot? And then Darian Kennard, a 5th-round rookie from last year who, quite frankly, did not play well at all. He needs to earn a roster spot and be someone who can at least be active on game days as a backup because he was basically inactive the entire season last year. All right, which player, pick one player on the entire team you are most excited to watch for during this preseason game. I would probably pick either Deneric Prince or Rashee Rice, kind of back to that rookie conversation. I would pick one of those two, but I'd also throw Shane Buechele in the mix. Big preseason coming up for him. Let us know which player you're most excited to watch this preseason. Appreciate you guys for making it to the end of the video. If you did, that makes you a real one, and you've probably already subscribed if you've made it to the end. But if you haven't, hit that sub button, turn on those notifications, and join us on Sunday 11:30 a.m. Central Time for our Chiefs preseason watch party against the New Orleans Saints.